The suffrage movement was a global campaign to give women the right to vote. From 1893 to 1928, women around the world fought for their right to participate in democracy. Women took to the streets in protest, lobbied their government, and defied laws to make their voices heard. The suffrage movement was both a long and a difficult struggle, but eventually women were granted the right to vote in many countries around the world. The suffrage movement began in the United States with the Declaration of Sentiments, written by Elizabeth Cady Stanton and signed at the Women's Rights Convention in Seneca Falls, NY in 1848. This document called for giving women the right to vote and for granting them equal rights with men. In 1872, Susan B. Anthony was arrested for voting in the presidential election, and this incident sparked a national debate about women's suffrage. The self-governing colony of New Zealand was the first country to grant women the right to vote in 1893. This was followed by the United States in 1893, when the state of Colorado became the first to grant full voting rights to women. In 1903, Australia became the first sovereign nation to grant women the right to vote, and in 1906 the Grand Duchy of Finland, part of the Russian Empire, became the first country to give women both the right to vote and to run for office. The United States passed the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution in 1920, granting women the right to vote. Women in Ireland obtained full voting rights in 1922, and in 1928, women in the UK obtained full voting rights. Other nations followed suit, with Cameroon, Kenya, Romania and Venezuela granting women the right to vote in 1946, and Kuwaiti Parliament granting women the right to vote and run in elections in 2005. Finally, in 2015, Saudi Arabia granted women the right to vote and run for office. The suffrage movement was an important milestone in the history of democracy and women's rights. It was a long and difficult struggle, and it took decades of hard work and dedication for women to finally be granted the right to vote. Even today, there are still countries where women are denied the right to vote, but the suffrage movement paved the way for a more equal and democratic world.